All right, I would like to welcome back Joe Manniello, Newsday's NFL picks columnist, back on the channel. Joe, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It was a productive week for the both of us. We both went 4-1, bring me up to 7-3, and you're back to 500 at 5-5.
Yeah, we both had almost the same pick, so figured we both do well or do bad.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes this week. Let's see if we're on the same page. We'll start with the Jets, who've, oh my God, really been struggling. They are going on the road to Indianapolis, and the Colts are favored by 11 here. Who do you like in this game, Joe?
Yeah, at first glance, I mean, if you had told me this was a spread, before the season, week 3, Colts minus 11, of course, I'd take the Jets, but I just don't see how you can take the Jets unless the spread got to like Super Bowl 3 territory. Colts
right.
minus 18 against Namath. Then I take the Jets, but I mean, 11 is a big number, and if the Jets lose by 10, so be it. But I just don't see how you can have any faith in the Adam Gase offense. No creativity. They're missing so many pieces. The Colts have a lot of injuries too, but they did just beat the Vikings at home by 17. And as bad as the Vikings are, I think they got a better roster than the Jets and a better coach. So I'll lay the 11 points. I mean, it's not like one of my best bets, but I just can't take the Jets here unless it's like maybe 14 or 15. So I'll lay the 11 points. As crazy as it sounds, in week 3, the Jets have been that bad.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Joe. I don't see how I could, with any confidence, pick the Jets here. In 9 of the 11 losses under Adam Gase, they've lost by 2 possessions or more. So right. More than likely, they're going to lose by double digits again. And I don't see how this isn't at least a 2-touchdown game difference. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to score more than, 10, 13 points, somewhere in that range. And that should be enough for the Colts to, put up some points. And, I mean, let's face it, the Jets defense, which is supposed to be one of their stronger suits, has been really bad. I think this one could get ugly. And, I mean, 0-3 are pretty much off the rails at that point.
You said 9 of 10 have been by double digits, really?
9 of 11 of the losses, have been by 2 possessions or more.
2 scores, you mean? Like a touchdown and a field goal, so at least 10 points?
So at least 10, exactly.
Wow, really? I didn't know that. Jeez.
Yeah, it's brutally bad. As for the Giants, they are hosting the 49ers, who the Jets just faced. The 49ers are favored by 4. Banged up team, but who do you like here, Joe?
Yeah, this is an interesting game. I mean, the 49ers were my Super Bowl pick before the season, and I think when healthy, they'll still, be up there. But the NFC West is so great. Who knows? I mean, all four of those teams can make the playoffs. It's crazy. It's
right.
But they have so many injuries. Garoppolo probably isn't going to play, and even though Nick Mullins is a solid backup, he's still a backup quarterback. And then you got both of your top running backs out in Mostert and Kevin Coleman, and they do have a really good third running back in McKinnon, but still he's third running back. I don't know if Kittle's playing or not. Sherman's out, and Nick Bosa's out. I mean, D4. They have so many injuries. And I know the Giants lost Barkley, and Shepard's on the IR too. But I like the Giants here. I think that Joe Judge is going to. This might be their only shot to win for a while. They have a tough schedule, and I think he's going to rally the troops around this whole idea that hey, we're playing a pretty banged up team, and this whole idea that the 49ers. I mean, they complained a lot about the turf against the Jets at MetLife. I think Joe Judge is going to beat that into the ground and be like, they don't want to play here. Let's show them this is our home turf and blah blah blah. I mean, literally, this is the last place in the world the Niners want to play after last week. I mean, they're blaming the turf for some of the injuries, so I don't think that they really want to be here. So if they win, I think it's a low-scoring game, like a 20-17, 19-16 kind of game. If they win, they win. But I think 4 points is way too much. And I'll go one step further. I like the Giants to actually win the game.
Okay.
I just think the Niners have way too many injuries, and they definitely have the better roster, and they do have depth, but there's so many guys hurt. And I think, if Daniel Jones, this might be a silly argument, but last year, week 3 was his breakout game at Tampa Bay, that amazing game.
Right.
Maybe that conjures up some magic for him. Maybe this is like, backs against the wall. Let's go beat the defending NFC champions, even though they're not playing with the, full strength. Let's go out there and make a statement. And I think the Giants are going to show up Sunday. So I'll take the +4.
Okay. I was back and forth on this one, but I ended up going with the 49ers -4. I think the Giants will be much more competitive. That goes without question than the Jets were last week. I just worry about the Giants offensively, if they're going to be able to do enough. Obviously, without Saquon Barkley, they brought in Devonta Freeman. Who knows, how ready he's going to go. And they are going to be without Sterling Shepard as well. I wouldn't be stunned if the Giants won this game, but I don't trust them enough to make that pick just yet. Like I said, I think they'll hang around maybe in the first half, and then the second half, the 49ers will pull away a little bit, but I think 49ers win by a touchdown in this one.
Yeah, that's the thing about Barkley. As great as he is, he's not like they weren't winning with him. So, obviously you want your best player on the field, but their running game hasn't been going. I think this is a Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram kind of game. So.
Gotcha. I certainly see the logic. I can't disagree too much with that one, but I'm taking the 49ers. As for the game of the week, Joe, I know you're excited about it. I'm excited about this game. The Chiefs and the Ravens on Monday Night Football. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 as the home team. Who do you like here?
Yeah, it's a great game. A lot of people, including myself, thought this would be the AFC Championship game last year. I think it will most likely, barring any injuries, be the AFC Championship game this year. The two best teams, not only in the AFC but in the entire NFL. I don't think the third team is that close to either team. It's only 2 weeks, but
right.
Based on last year and everything, I like Baltimore here. I mean, it's hard betting against Kansas City and Mahomes, especially giving 3.5. I mean, I wish it was 2.5 because it could be a 3-point game. But I'm a believer in if you think the team's going to win and the spread's 3.5, you don't take the other team and just say, oh, they're going to lose by a field goal because you're not. We're not psychics here, so if you're going to pick the team to win, if they win by 3, so be it. You got to lay the 3.5 and hope they win by 4. But I just think they have something. As weird as it sounds, I feel like the Ravens have something to prove after last year's early playoff exit, and this is another great opportunity. They last year they beat the Patriots when they were 8-0 on Sunday Night Football in prime time. And I just think that the Chiefs, I mean, they look great in the opener against Houston. Struggled a little bit last week. They were down most of the game, and then they came back. That kind of gives me a little bit of pause, but Mahomes is 5-0-1 against the spread as an underdog. So there are reasons to take the Chiefs here. I mean, similar to Aaron Rodgers whenever he's right. Getting points, you always think let's just take him because he's so good. So I definitely get taking the Chiefs here, and it's not like an easy pick, but the Ravens haven't lost a regular season game since week 4 of last year, wow. And I just think that they have tons of options with Jackson, the 3-headed monster running back. Their defense is really good, and I think maybe they could mimic the game plan from the Colts last year. They won at Kansas City early in the year on Sunday night, and they kind of made Mahomes throw a bunch of short passes. That defense was really stout, and they got after him. It was almost like a different approach, I guess. Keep everything under, with the big plays to Tyreek Hill. I think the Ravens can keep up with their with Kelsey and Hill, and I think be a close game. But I think it'll be a high scoring game, like a 34-30 kind of game. I like the Ravens. I think Jackson has a big game, so I'll lay the 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. This was a tough one for me. I think if the Chiefs played a little bit better last week, and maybe it would have made it a little bit of a tougher decision on me, but I liked what you said about the Ravens having something to prove. I agree with that. They looked like the best team in football last year, and then they lost their first game in the playoffs after the bye week to the Titans and really didn't look all that good. I think this team's on a mission. I think that they are out to prove people that they're a legit team. And I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a great game. I think it's going to be a back and forth game, but in the end here, I'm going to take the Ravens with you as well, -3.5 for the game of the week. As for the best bet this week, Joe, is there someone that sticks out that you're confident in?
Yeah, there's a few games I like. I like the Giants as one of my top 3 plays. I like the Browns. But I'm going to go with the Falcons, -3. I think it's 3 or 3.5 at home against the Bears. This is one of those matchups where I feel like the Falcons, they're 0-2. They're the better team than the 2-0 Bears, who needed a crazy comeback to beat the Lions and then beat the Giants. But, they almost lost that game at the end. It wasn't such an impressive win. The Falcons, on the other hand, they lost to Russell Wilson in Seattle. And then they blew a typical Falcons fashion. They blew a 20-0 lead and then a 39-24 lead, I think.
Yep.
I don't know what happened on that onside kick, but I just feel like coming home 0-2 with all those weapons, Matt Ryan's really just spreading the ball around with the 3 receivers. I just think that they're the better team, and it's only 3.5 or 3 points, I think. I'm not sure. Double check. I just think that this is kind of like an urgency game for them. Like Dan Quinn, he almost got fired last year. They brought him back. Now they're 0-2, and after that loss at Dallas, I feel like if they're not going to win this game, then he's not making it the whole season. So I feel like there's a sense of urgency there. I think their offense is too good not to put up at least 30 points in this game. And I'm not a believer in Mitchell Trubisky, so I don't think the Bears are that great. So I like the Falcons to win this game by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's Falcons -3, by the way. This is one of my favorite picks of the week, but I'm going to go the Titans over Minnesota. Minnesota looked awful last week, and the Titans, I think they're doing wonderful things on offense. I think that OC is going to get a few looks at head coaching vacancies this offseason. Ryan Tannehill's looked good. They run the ball with Derrick Henry, and we know that they could play defense. I think Kirk Cousins struggles again this week, and I like the Titans. I know it's a road game for them, but I think that they can go on the road and win in Minnesota. So give me the Titans -2.5 for my best bet.
Yeah, I have them as well. It's a tricky game. I thought I was going to take the Vikings at first because just like last week, they can't be that bad. But
Right.
They lost Anthony Barr, linebacker. They have 3 starters out, and they just look bad. I mean, they got crushed against the Colts, and it comes to a point where it's like you can't just pick a team based on the preseason expectations anymore. They look like they're not the same team as last year.
Absolutely. How about an upset this week, Joe?
Upsets. Okay. Well, like I mentioned, I like the Giants, so we already put them in there. And thought about making it the Packers +3.5, but I think they'll win that game or keep it close, but there's some line value for the Saints if they open at like 5.5 or 6, and then they went down after the Monday night game against the Raiders. So I'll stay away from that one. But I'm going to go with the surprising one because I'm picking against a team who I've been high on. This is just against the spread, though. So I'm going to go against my my playoff contender Cardinals.
Okay.
I take the Detroit Lions 5.5 on the road. The Lions, these teams played last year in the opener to a 27-27 tie, and the Lions blew a 24-6 lead. It was Kyler Murray's first game, and I think this will be another close game. The Lions, they're like the Falcons. They blow all these crazy leads, but they have a lot of talent, and I think Kenny Galladay's coming back to Matthew Stafford's top receiver, and I think Stafford's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. And they just have too much talent, and as much as I like the Cardinals, I think they'll win the game, but I think the 5.5 is too big. I think it'll be a 3 or 4 point game, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions even won. I just feel like the Cardinals, I think DeAndre Hopkins, they look great, but beating the San Fran win was impressive, but they beat Washington last week. I don't think that they're there yet where they're going to be winning every week by double digits. So I'm going to take the Lions here in a desperate spot. To me, this week is all about like desperation teams.
Yeah.
I think the Lions, they can't get to 0-3, and if they do, I think they'll at least put up a fight here. So I see like a 30-27 kind of game either way. So I'll take the 5.5 Lions +5.5.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. You sold me on that logic. I think I'm falling into the trap, Joe. I'm going to go with Green Bay +3.5 over.
I knew you were going to take them.
Yeah, over New Orleans. I really love Green Bay. I think they're playing really good football, and Drew Brees is starting to scare me a little bit. I don't know if he's the same player that he once was. He didn't look particularly great against the Raiders on Monday Night Football, and I think that Green Bay, they're just clicking on all cylinders right now. I think this is a close game. Would I be stunned if the Saints won? No, absolutely not, but I think this is absolutely an opportunity for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to go on the road and get a big-time win here in hopes of being one of the top contenders in the NFC.
Yeah, I don't think it's a trap. I mean, I'm taking the Packers as well. It's just that it's an issue of like value. The value isn't there
right
with the number, but I'm definitely taking the Packers as well. And not having Michael Thomas really doesn't look like a Herb Breeze last week. So, they always start slow. I'm sure they'll be okay, but right now I agree. You got back to pack.
Absolutely. So just to recap, both Joe and I are on the Colts -11 over the Jets. I'm on the 49ers -4 against the Giants. Joe likes the Giants +4. In the game of the week, Chiefs and Ravens. Both Joe and I like the Ravens at -3.5. Best bet, my best bet is the Titans -2.5 over Minnesota. Joe is going with the Falcons -3 against the Bears. Upset pick, I have the Green Bay Packers +3.5 over New Orleans, and Joe is going with the Lions +5.5 against the Cardinals. Joe, thank you so much for coming on with me. Always a blast. We'll talk again next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Matt.